Hey guys, let's get more news about Miami Heat, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Jimmy Butler makes bold Miami Heat contract decision. Jimmy Butler isn't letting ongoing trade rumors keep him from making history. He registered 35 points, 19 rebounds, and 10 assists in the Miami Heat's 125-124 overtime loss to the Detroit Pistons, recording his 17th career triple-double and nearly helping the team win their 5th straight game. The Heat were quite skeptical about offering him a max contract extension this offseason. It's understandable for any franchise, considering Butler's age and long injury history. The Heat have turned things around after a rough start to the 2024-25 campaign, currently sitting in 6th position with a 13-11 record. They were riding a 4-game win streak before losing to the Pistons and have won 8 of their last 12 games. Butler has been a key piece to the team's recent success. Unfortunately for Heat fans, Butler's days of making history in Miami may be numbered. According to Zach Bahar of Bleacher Report, Brian Windhorst said on the Hoop Collective, he has got a player option in his contract for $52 million next year. He has made it known to the league, he intending to not pick that up. His position is that no matter what happens, he is going to be an unrestricted free agent in the summer of 2025. To hand a veteran like Butler a long-term contract, at 35 years of age, when he is susceptible to injuries, is quite a risky move. Although it would not be ideal to lose a player like Butler without getting at least the bare minimum from a trade. That is exactly what might happen if he does indeed turn down his player option. Butler is averaging 19.4 points, 6.1 rebounds, and 5.0 assists after playing 19 games this season. He is second to Tyler Herro in terms of the Heat's top scorers. Parting ways with the 6-time All-Star, who has taken the Heat to 2 NBA Finals, could be hard for the franchise. It would also be difficult for them to get a replacement of that level, especially when it comes to postseason output. Teams like the Golden State Warriors, Dallas Mavericks, Houston Rockets, and Phoenix Suns have been linked with him in recent weeks. Shams Chirania doubles down on Jimmy Butler, Heat reporting, despite agents' backlash. On Monday evening, the Miami Heat suffered a brutal overtime loss to the Detroit Pistons on the road, having fought back valiantly to send the game into overtime but ultimately falling short when they got there. Jimmy Butler had arguably the best game of his season so far, registering a 35-point triple-double, but it wasn't enough to stop the Heat's win streak from coming to an end. Recently, Butler's name has been the subject of trade rumors, and ESPN NBA insider Shams Chirania found himself at the center of controversy when Butler's agent, Bernard Lee, publicly called him out for what he said was untrue reporting attributed to him. However, Chirania recently took to ESPN's The Pat McAfee Show and gave no indication of backing down. "The situation is I 1000% stand on the reporting," said Chirania. "This is probably the most vetted story I think I've ever put out. I'm that confident in this story. This is exactly where it is. The Heat are open to listening to trade offers for Jimmy Butler. That's what sources told me last week. That remains to be the case. There's no urgency, though." The specific report that Lee called out on X, formerly Twitter, regarded the Phoenix Suns' reported interest in acquiring Butler, but Chirania is apparently very confident that the information he put out was indeed accurate. Jimmy Butler is set to hit free agency at the conclusion of this season, but it's unclear at this point whether the 35-year-old will be able to command a maximum contract considering his age and the new stricter rules around teams' contract situations. Related Miami Heat news article continues below. The Heat don't really have much fear that if, let's say he goes into free agency, they're not that fearful that there's a team out there that's going to be willing to give him a maximum contract. They're confident with where they're at, said Chirania. The Heat this year have been up and down, but overall clearly don't have enough talent to compete with teams like the Boston Celtics or New York Knicks in the Eastern Conference hierarchy, which will make it especially interesting to see if they choose to commit all into this current core or start over by trading Butler. The Heat will next take the floor on Friday evening at home versus the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Jimmy Butler trade rumors have continued throughout the week, as it seems like there's a real chance that the Miami Heat forward could be headed somewhere else. Though there may have been some denial in those rumors, it looks like the trade buzz could be rising, according to Mark Stein. There is a rising belief league-wide that the Heat are indeed willing to trade Butler before the February 6 trade deadline, despite the great success they've enjoyed together over the past 5 seasons, Stein wrote. More teams consulted than not believe that Butler is also seriously eyeing new locales for the first time. It's a notion reinforced by the widespread belief that Butler is determined to bypass next season's $52.4 million player option, no matter where he is on February 7, to become a free agent on June 30. Butler listed 4 teams, which included the Phoenix Suns, Golden State Warriors, Houston Rockets, and the Dallas Mavericks. The Warriors inquired about Butler's availability before sending Thompson to the Mavs and before agreeing to free agency deals with Melton, Buddy Hield, and Kyle Anderson, sources said. The Heat held no interest in discussing Butler in trade talks, which is why nothing ever materialized. With Butler reportedly being open to a Warriors trade, this is once again something for Golden State to ponder, Siegel wrote. In order for the Warriors to make the move, they'll have to match Butler's money with some of the contracts that they have. Andrew Wiggins could possibly be in the deal, but they could also center a deal around Jonathan Kuminga, especially since the Warriors did not give him a contract extension before the season. NBA champion weighs in on idea of Heat trading Jimmy Butler to the Phoenix Suns. Miami Heat star Jimmy Butler appears interested in joining the superstar duo of Devin Booker and Kevin Durant on the Phoenix Suns. A trade to the Suns would center around disappointing guard Bradley Beal and their remaining draft capital. There's a high likelihood better offers are proposed to the Heat elsewhere, but that doesn't stop the NBA community from raising questions around this potential blockbuster deal. This includes retired champion Richard Jefferson, who believes moving Beal to Miami could come with its own challenges. How do they get Jimmy Butler? I'm asking, Jefferson began on NBA Today. So this ain't just about what Jimmy Butler wants, it's also about, hey Bradley, we're sending you someplace else because I don't see one draft asset, I don't see other young assets. I know Devin Booker and Kevin Durant aren't the people they're talking about. The follow-up question posed regarded where Butler stands in the NBA hierarchy. Butler is viewed as the top option on the Heat as it stands, but could swiftly drop to number 3 in Phoenix. Jefferson is confident the 6-time All-Star can fill whatever role is asked of him. Jimmy, 100%, Jefferson said. He's an elite defensive player, a tough, gritty player. He's versatile. Do I think he should be the number 1 guy? I still think he has that ability, but I also think he's an intelligent enough basketball player where he can make it fit anywhere. And you fan? What do you think of the situation of Jimmy Butler? Leave your opinion in the comments.